Let's just continue this conversation and bring in Jewish News Syndicate CEO and Jerusalem Bureau Chief Alex Traiman, as well as Dean of Academics at the Institute of World Politics, James Robbins. Good morning to you both. Alex, I'm going to start with you here. I do want to start with the news that broke only about an hour ago that Israel reportedly successfully took out Iran's defense minister and the head of the IRGC volunteer unit that took the lead in killing Iranian protesters earlier this year. So there are also reports that Iran security chief Ali Larijani was also killed. How big, if true, and what are you hearing?
Yeah, the Israeli defense minister has reported, in fact, that Larijani is dead. The successful assassination attempts overnight, and Israel just continues to target against the top leaders of this regime. Remember, the first strike on Saturday morning, February 27th, was to take out Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader, along with 40 of his top advisors, and they've since gone after all of the heads, the top layer of this infrastructure of the IRGC and now of the Basiji as well, setting the stage for a regime change that will be predicated by Iranians actually going into the streets and taking back their country from this dictatorial Islamic Republic.
Yeah. And James, I want to expand on what our reporter was just talking about earlier. So President Trump says that he has, quote unquote, demanded about 7 countries that are heavily reliant on Middle East oil to join a coalition policing the Strait of Hormuz. UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer says his country will not join in on the war, but they would be willing to work on the plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Let's take a listen.
While taking the necessary action to defend ourselves and our allies, we will not be drawn into the wider war. And third, we will keep working towards a swift resolution that brings security and stability back to the region. We cannot allow the war in the Gulf to turn into a windfall for Putin.
Your response to Keir Starmer's remarks there?
Well, what the president was saying was it's really in the interest of these countries to help out with respect to the Gulf. They rely a lot more on the oil from that region than we do. And to the extent that it's stopped, then that hurts them. They don't have as many ships as we do. Their navies aren't as powerful. Maybe they don't want to risk them going into harm's way of actually going into the Strait of Hormuz. But they can still help out in a support capacity. So when the prime minister says they want to help but not get involved in the wider war, it's really unclear what that means. But to the extent they could maybe take up some of the slack in certain areas but not get right into the field of fire, well, that would also be helpful.
Yeah. And Alex, I want to continue this topic with you. So you've got other U.S. allies rejecting calls to deploy warships to escort tankers through the key choke point of the strait. I mean, causing oil prices to still hover over $100 a barrel. You've got Germany. Their chancellor, Friedrich Merz, says, quote, "We lack the mandate from the United Nations, the European Union, or NATO required under basic law." We've got South Korea, Japan really have been quiet on this front as well. What exactly do you think happens here? Should they join in? Is it their responsibility? What are your thoughts?
I think that this just demonstrates that it is the United States, together with their most vital ally in the region, the State of Israel, that are willing to confront fanatical Islamic terror, that are willing to confront the main source of instability in the Middle East and the main source of instability to global oil prices, which is the Islamic Republic of Iran. And obviously the United States has all the naval power they need in order to open up the straits. They will do it on behalf of the entire world, as you see European nations and other countries really diminishing, I think, their roles as the superpowers and the moral police officers of the entire world.
Yeah. And James, let's talk about this. President Trump says Iran wants to make a deal, but they just can't be trusted. Let's take a listen.
They want to make a deal. They're talking to our people. I don't know if they say that to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Don't forget, they are a country that for years, I didn't know this until recently, they're a country based on disinformation. And now they're using disinformation plus AI. And that's a terrible situation.
Yeah, James, in a world of, these AI fake videos, whatever it is, and just the history of Iran just not being trustworthy whatsoever, what do you make of the president's remarks there?
Well, yeah, there's fake video, there's fake audio, for all we know. We don't know who we're talking to over there. I mean, Larijani just got killed. Maybe they were talking to him. There are fissures within the Iranian government. We saw that in recent New York Times reporting on the succession over there, where there were different factions fighting it out. So, they're completely disrupted. Could we be trusted? Could they be trusted to make a peace deal, call for a ceasefire? We really don't know until someone clearly can stand up and say, this is what we want from the Iranian side, whether it's the Ayatollah, which, again, we don't even know if he's alive. There's a lot of confusion on that. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Alex, I would love your thoughts on this as well. Again, so many reports on the new Ayatollah. He's alive. He's in a coma. No, he's totally fine, with reports coming out of Iran. What do you make on the trustworthiness and what we are really getting from Iran at this point?
Back in 2020, President Trump had tweeted that Iran had never lost a negotiation, but had never won a war. And I think that that's going to prove true here as well. The president's not going to negotiate. There's nobody to negotiate with at this point. There's a predetermined chain of command where you now have local militias firing rockets. You have Hezbollah operating sort of independently. There's no top of this command structure anymore. And so there's nobody to make a deal with. And it's not going to necessarily stop any of these militiamen from firing rockets across the region. We're seeing AI disinformation. So many videos out there reporting that Benjamin Netanyahu was dead, when in fact it's Ali Khamenei, probably Mojtaba Khamenei, Ali Larijani, and other members of the Iranian regime that are dead.
Yeah, fascinating. Okay, we are definitely going to keep an eye on all of that. My goodness. All right, Alex, James, gentlemen, fantastic insight from you both. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.